All right, there we go. I am officially live. Let's see. I want to share it with people. Aha, there we go. All right, we are officially live. Just gotta wait for people to join in. And also, I'm going to post a better on Facebook for people to join. All right, hello, and welcome to my 0 viewers. Just gonna go ahead and work on this till people join. Let's see here. What's next on the script? All right, that's what I need to do. Yeah, I'm gonna play some non-copyright music. It's a little too quiet in here. Here we go. After these ads pass. It's still no one. I'm still gonna stream. Hopefully people don't. Alrighty. All right, there we go. Just checking every once in a while, just in case someone does join. Anyone who watches this after the live stream, hello, welcome. All right, that'll do it for that panel. Let's see if I share it to more people. Let's see here. Who else can I share too? All right, let's just wait for more people. I'm gonna be streaming for, I'm gonna say for about 2 hours. I'm gonna stream for 2 hours.
Cinderella. Cinderella. Cinderella.
Oh, come on, really? Another ad? Draw his burnt face. Or face that was struck by acid, but it's a good. Open the door. There we go. Yeah, still no viewers. Well, I just gotta be patient. Someone will come and watch me. This is not the only live stream that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep doing live streams until people notice it. Okay. I want people to notice me for my comics. I guess I could talk about my comic, even though no one's watching. Oh, there we go. The comic that I am working on right now is a series that I'm working on called Sorrow. I've already done 2 other comics, or 3 other comics, I should say. This is the first one, which I've got printed. Gonna start selling it soon. This is the second. It's in 2 parts because the script was way too long to fit into one comic, so I had to split it into 2 parts. And this one that I'm currently working on is this one. And in this one, he faces a girl who has telekinetic abilities. And it should make for a very, a decent, awesome comic, I should say. My writing skills aren't that good, but You know, I would say I'm decent at writing. And I guess I could talk a little about the universe, uh, just to give you guys an understanding of how it works for anyone who watches after I get done live streaming. So, a little better universe is I created this universe when I was around, I would say, 5 to 10 years old. Uh, well, the first comic I ever made was when I was 5. Uh, which this is these are the first comics I've ever made. Made them when I was 5, and I've been making comics ever since. I'm 25 now, so I've been making them for a while, and I'm still not the best at it, but I'm getting there. I've learned a lot creating comics all those years. I've also gotten better at drawing as well. Also, still not the best at drawing, but better than I was. I'll turn that down a little bit because y'all probably can't hear me. All right, that's better. But yeah, I've been making comics ever since I was 5. And still plan on making them. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So me and my friends have made a very big universe, I should say. It's come a long way from creating comics when I was 5. So far, from the last time I checked, we had about like almost 1,352 heroes and villains. And we're still not done. We're still making heroes. We're still making characters. But Sorrow, his story I worked on for about, I want to say, a year to 2 years. I worked on his story, and I just now perfected it. His story is he lives in the year 2050. At this point in time, around this time, the government basically took over and was controlling everything, and basically enslaved all of the civilians where he lived. They wanted to control everyone and everything. And his parents and like a bunch of others did not like what the government was doing, so they decided to go against them and created like a rebel alliance called the Hilterman Revolters because their names were, if I remember, Richard and Stacy Hilderman is what his parents' name was. Sorrow's name is Mark Hilderman. His little brother is Casey Hilderman, and I'll get to him in a minute because Sorrow's story goes along with his brother's story goes along with Sorrow. But anyways, back to Sorrow. Yeah, his parents made the Hilderman Revolters, along with the help from a friend that they used to work with, Harold Tucker. In the second comment, it explains that his parents worked for the government at one point. And they were tasked with making a serum because with everybody trying to revolt against them, they wanted to create a serum to mind control people. And so they tasked Mark's parents And Harold Tucker, along with another scientist named James Dillard, which he plays another important role. I'll get to him back to him in a second. But they test all of them with creating a serum called Serum Z that could basically control people's minds. And of course, they weren't told what it was for. They were just told they needed to make it. And so, without knowing it, they created it. And after they created it, the government needed people to test it on. So they chose Mark and his younger brother to test it on because they were still young and they could take whatever the serum, whatever effects, whatever the serum affected them with. And of course, Mark's parents didn't like that, and so they, after they got done testing on him, the serum had no effect on him. Oh, hello! I finally got a viewer. I've just been babbling on about my universe, so if you want to stay and listen in, you can. But anyways, like I was saying, his parents did not like that. And so after they got done experimenting on him and his brother, his parents and Harold Tucker all escaped the government, which in their world is basically a death wish, because anyone who revolts against the government dies, basically. And they were hunting Harold more than Mark's parents. So Harold led the government away while Mark's parents found a place to hide. And they eventually did find a place. They found a like a secluded place in the forest. It was like a hatch that was built out there, and they turned that into their base. Oh, he left. So they hid there for about like a couple of years, and at this point they perfected their mind control serum, and gave James Dillard total control over that serum, which was a huge mistake on their part, because James Dillard was very unstable. He was obsessed with making mutants, and he wanted to. He was obsessed with making the perfect mutant, so he created the serum for him, but he put his own little twist on it. It would mind control people, but it would also mutate them because of his sick obsession with making the perfect mutant. And so after he created it, he put it into like a bomb form and basically exploded the radiation all over the city. And this all happened like right after Mark's parents had died, because the government had found out where they were hiding and killed them all off, killed all the revolters off, including his parents. But they did not find him and his younger brother because their parents had hid them. And so after his parents had died, it was up to him to protect his younger brother and basically carry on his parents' name. But after that, James Dillard had released the bomb and mutated everyone. And at this point, Mark was hunting for food when this happened. And so the radiation hit him, and it mutated him, but not in the way that it mutated everyone else. To everyone else, it mutated him into horrible monsters and stuff like that. But to Mark, it mutated him by giving him super strength and flight, and also gave him ungodly amounts of willpower, which means he could take like 5 mini bombs and still keep fighting. So he had amazing durability. And after he got his powers, of course, he didn't know what had happened to him. And he was trying to figure it out, but then he got swarmed with a bunch of mutants who were trying to kill him. And that's when he found out that he had super strength. And after he found that out, he was fighting them off, and then a mutant caught him by surprise and hit him up in the air. And that's when he found out he had flight as well. And after he found all of that out, he beat down all the mutants. Well, I wouldn't say beat them down. He killed them. But yeah, he killed all the mutants, and then he went back to his base where his brother was, and blocked it off. That way the mutants wouldn't be able to get in. And for a couple of days, he was trying to figure out, what had happened to everybody, what had happened to him. And his brother ended up making him a suit from his mom and dad's old stuff. And that suit was basically this. His brother had made him that. And after he made him his suit, he decided to take on the role and basically try to find a way to cure everyone. Before it got too late and they got swarmed and killed. And this had went on for about like a year or so. And he was getting nowhere with his progress of trying to find a cure. That was until he came across Harold Tucker again in the second comic. Harold Tucker had been held up in his own little secret base for that whole year. And he also had been trying to figure out a cure to cure the city. And he made it to where the radiation couldn't get into his house because anyone who breathed in that radiation mutated. And so, after years of searching, Mark, or Sorrow as he goes by now, found Harold's secret base. Didn't know what it was, and so he was cautious about entering. And he, as he reached for the door to open it, Harold's defenses activated, and basically tried to kill him. But Sorrow ended up destroying his defenses and was able to get in. And that's when he found out that Harold was still alive, which overwhelmed him with joy because he thought he was the only human left. And after they reunited and stuff like that, Harold told him what he's been doing all those years, and told him that he's trying to find a cure, but he needs radiation samples from super mutants. And Sorrow, being the only one who can actually go out there without mutating, because he's already mutated, told Harold that he would help him find the samples if it means that the world gets cured. And so he gave Mark the stuff needed to get the radiation samples, and also earpieces so they can keep in contact. And that's when Harold got a notification on his computer that a mutant with a radiation power level of 320 had entered into into the proximity of the computer radar. And so he told Mark that that's exactly what he needed. And so Mark agreed to go out and get that radiation sample. And that brings us to his first actual villain, which is Ray. Ray, otherwise known as Charles Stockton, was a wealthy businessman, and he was widely known for making a super cure that could cure anybody, even on the verge of death. Even like 5 minutes after dying, the cure could bring him back. And he was widely known, and he was heading back to Johnson City, which is where Mark resides, to see his family. And this was like hours before the radiation bomb exploded and mutated everyone. But he was heading back to see his family in Johnson City right when the radiation bomb exploded. And of course, it hit his plane and made it crash, killing everyone and almost him. Well, what happened was the radiation that was in the water that he landed in seeped into his skin and basically burned away his flesh and all of his like organs and all of that, and replaced it with like a gelatin mold of his skin and organs from the radiation. So the radiation kind of turned into like a gelatin mold and made him a new body. And after that, he, of course, he was confused because he didn't know what just happened. All he knew is he was on the verge of dying, and then all of a sudden he gets brought back to life. And after that, he kind of staggers around trying to figure out where he's at, and he sees that everything is decimated. All the buildings are crumbled. There's like a green mist everywhere. And he's just confused about where he's at. And while he's trying to figure things out, another mutant comes and tries to attack him, which freaks him out. And the mutant hits him. But when the mutant hits him, that's when he figures out that he can't be hurt. Like whatever pain is stricken upon him, it doesn't necessarily leave a scar. It just heals right back up. Because the radiation... Oh, wow, I got 2 viewers. Well, welcome. I'm just telling the story of my hero, Sorrow. You're welcome to stay and listen. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, Ray didn't know what was happening. He didn't know why this mutant was attacking him. And after the mutant hit him, he figured out that he couldn't be hurt. Like whatever damage is done to him, it like the radiation in his skin would automatically heal him back up. And so after he figured that out, he tried to make a run for it, but the mutant tried to attack him again, and he instinctively grabbed the mutant. And this is when he figured out that he had another power, and that was the power to absorb radiation. And he also figured out that when he absorbs radiation, he gets much more stronger and much more agile and stuff like that. So he basically killed that mutant. And after he did that, he figured, if these mutants are around, he has to find his family to make sure they're okay. And so after hours and hours of searching, he finds the old neighborhood that that he used to live in with his family. And he sort of recognized it, even though everything was decimated. He sort of recognized it, and he ended up finding his family, but they were both burnt to a crisp. Like they were completely dead, and that made him break down mentally, and he then figured out that if the radiation brought him back, it could bring them back. And so that's what caused him to start absorbing radiation everywhere. And that's when he found the Johnson City nuclear power plant. And he sensed that there was a lot of radiation coming from that building. And he said that would be enough to bring his family back. So that's where he set out from. And that's where Harold also got the radiation thing from. And so that's where he sent Sorrow. And that brings us to the second comic, where Sorrow enters the radiation plant and is basically hunting for whatever that high radiation power level is emitting. And that's when he first sees Ray. And Ray's like at the radiation vats, just absorbing all that he can. And this is where Sorrow first confronts him. He confronts him by, saying who he is and stuff like that. And Ray, being distraught and very mad, tells him that he shouldn't be there and that he's interfering with his plans of saving his family. And Sorrow, not knowing what he's talking about, basically says that he has to stop him because Harold earlier tells him that if Ray absorbs too much radiation, he's going to become a nuclear bomb and destroy everything and kill everyone. And so Harold tells him that's why he's there to stop him. And Ray, not listening, starts throwing stuff at him. And that's when Sorrow goes in for an attack. And that's when he finds out he can't hurt Ray. He punches him like right across the face. And he finds out that it's still like any punches that he lands on him just goes right through him. And he just heals back up. And then Ray grabs him and is like, "You can't hurt me, but I can hurt you," and starts absorbing the radiation that's in Sorrow's body. And Sorrow ends up feeling this, like it almost kills him. But he uses his super strength and breaks free from the grasp that Ray had hold of him. And he escapes it and runs back to Harold's base and basically tells him what happened. He basically says that he cannot touch Ray at all. Like whatever punches he lands on him, it just goes right through him. And he also tells him that Ray said something about saving his family. And so what Harold comes up with is he takes Sorrow's gloves and puts shockwave emitters into it. And these shockwave emitters, he says, like whenever he hits like a liquid, it emits a shockwave to such a frequency that it condenses the liquid into almost a solid form. So whenever he punches Ray, instead of going through him, the shockwaves will condense him to a point where he can hit him. And after that, he sends Mark back out and tells him to be careful this time and don't let Ray get a hold of him. And After that, he heads back to the nuclear power plant and confronts him again, but this time he's not able to find him. He wasn't in the same spot that he was last time. And as he's investigating, he sees like a pool of green liquid that he assumes is from Ray. And as he's investigating it, Ray comes up behind him and basically slams him into the wall next to them, which Ray quickly gets back up from because of his willpower. And Ray tells him, you know, you're back here, I guess you want to die. And Sorrow goes, I don't think that's going to happen because I have something that can hurt you now. And, you know, Ray questions him. He's like, you know, what have you got that can hurt me? Nothing can hurt me. And Sorrow flies forward and hits him across the face. And Ray is shocked to find out that he can actually hurt him. And this is when Ray ends up getting serious about it. Oh, my laptop's about dead. I'm going to have to plug it up. All right, give me a minute. I need to plug this back up. My laptop's almost dead. Oh, that's not going to reach. This is a predicament. Will it reach over here? Let's see. I may have to sit sideways. Yeah, you know what? That works. That'll work for now. I gotta get my pin. Anyways, back to what I was saying. This is when Ray starts to get serious about it because after he figures out that Sorrow can actually hit him, he gets really mad and charges towards him. Tries to swing at him, and Sorrow dodges it and comes up. And Sorrow comes up with an uppercut, sending him flying back into the wall. And Ray starts going wild with his punches. I'm talking like just completely goes ham on trying to hit him. And he does hit him a few times. Oh, hello, viewer. If you got any questions, just ask. I'm just talking about my character Sorrow and his story so far. But yeah, Ray just starts going ham trying to hit Sorrow. And Sorrow tries to calm him down by talking to him. And Ray's at a point where he's just not listening. He just wants to kill Sorrow. That's all he wants to do. And so Sorrow thinks to himself, he's not going to listen to me. I'm going to have to knock some sense into him. And Sorrow, not realizing how much strength he's putting into the next punch, flies towards him and hits him so hard. The shockwave that emits from his gloves was enough to liquefy him and sends him back flying into a wall. And after that, Sorrow goes down there. And he says, it's over, Ray. You don't have to fight anymore. You could be with your family. And Ray's like, no, I have to bring them back. They have to be with me. And Sorrow tells him, they can be with you, Ray. You just have to let go of the anger. And he's talking to him as he's melting. And after Ray fully melts, Ray tells him he's sorry and that he wished it could have ended differently. And after that, he gets the radiation sample for Harold. And Harold kind of talks to Sorrow because doing this kind of messed Sorrow up mentally. You know, he just killed a man. And it ends with Sorrow flying back to Harold's base with the radiation sample. And after that, James Dillard steps out of the corner and goes over to where Ray melted and takes a vial of the radiation Ray was made of and says, "Ray, you are such a disappointment, but you don't have to worry because I can make you stronger and better." And that's where the comic actually ends. And that leads us to the comic that I'm working on now. And this comic is one where he faces a girl who has telekinetic abilities. And this one starts out with the girl being experimented on to unlock her telekinetic abilities. And the operation is being led by Sergeant Smith, which Sergeant Smith is another huge part in the story. He's another villain that Sorrow faces. But even after Sorrow's story, Sergeant Smith still plays a big part in all the other hero stories, which I'll get to that too. But yeah, he's running the experiments on this girl to unlock her telekinetic abilities because his plan is to draw Sorrow out by sending this girl out and causing her abilities to fully unlock and make her a threat by having her almost destroy everything to draw him out. That's my plan for it anyways. It's not fully done. I'm still on the first page, but yeah, that's what I've got for Sorrow's story so far. For the other heroes, I'm gonna name off like the main ones that we first created. Because like I have way too many to name them all off. But I'm gonna name off the few that I'm gonna be making comics for, and that is Nameless, Gaiman, Shadow, Sorrow, Diamond, and Blood Ruby. And I'm going to tell you like all of their powers and all that, and like their backstories and stuff. So I'm going to start with Diamond. Diamond's abilities are he can adapt to any situation. Like say he's in a battle and he gets shot. Like if it doesn't kill him, his body adapts to it, and next time he gets shot by a bullet, it just bounces off of him. And that's with the help of a diamond in his chest called a crystallite. And what the crystallites are is a race of aliens that are far more advanced than anything. And whenever they go to other planets, they have to attach themselves to like sentient beings or like any other living organisms to survive that planet. And they're called the crystallites. And the thing about the crystallites is if they die, if there's like a shard of them left, they still live. So like at one point, the Crystal Light's planet, which is called Crissa, got invaded by another alien race called the Zorons. And the Zorons are a alien race that are bent on taking over other planets. They're conquerors, basically. And basically, they went to Crissa and tried to take it over. The Crystal Lights fought back, but ended up being overrun by the Zorons, and most of them died except for Celeste, which was the Crystal Light that bonded with Diamond. There was a shard of her left, and with her last power, she shot into space and let it on a meteor that was heading towards Earth. And that leads us to Earth, where Cole Anderson, aka Diamond, is going on a trip with his mother to the Grand Canyon for his birthday. And as they head there, they get there and unpack, all that normal stuff. And then his friend, who was also there, comes and tells him that they're going to be having a party later on tonight at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And he gets permission to go. And later on that night, they all end up going down and partying at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And that's when a meteor shower starts. And during this meteor shower, that's when the meteor... Oh, hello. But that's when the meteor starts flying in and lands like right in front of them. And creates a huge crater. And all of them are like checking it out. And one of Cole's friends dares him to go down there and check it out. And as he does, he goes down there and he sees like a blue glow coming from this meteor. And as he gets closer, he sees something shoot out of the meteor. And he feels a sharp pain as it enters into his chest, and he falls to the ground and passes out. And about an hour later, he wakes up and crawls out of the crater. And his friends are looking up at him, and they're terrified of him for some reason. And the camera pans over to him, and he's much more taller than he was. And as they're like, looking at him and stuff like that, they see helicopter lights shine, and they think it's the cops. So they book it, and Cole books it and ends up running back home and passes out for the night. In the morning, he gets woken up. Oh, hello. He gets woken up by a knock on the door. And as he staggers over there, he sees that he's way more bigger than the door. And he's, wondering why the door's so small, or if he shrunk. And as he grabs a hold of it, he sees that. Oh, man, what's that? I'm just going live talking about my universe and the comics and all my characters and all that. But you're free to stay and listen if you want. But yeah, as he grabs the door handle, he hears a crunch, and as he takes his hand off of it, he sees that he crushed the doorknob. And he's wondering, how did I do that? And he doesn't have time because he keeps hearing the knocking. So he opens the door and he sees Sergeant Smith, which is like a main baddie inside of the Shade universe. He sees him standing there, and he tells him, are you Cole Anderson? And he says, yeah. And he goes, we seen that a meteor landed inside of the Grand Canyon near you. And we were wondering if you you know, if you interacted with it at all. And Cole says, yeah, something shot out of it, but I don't know what it is. I passed out afterwards. And Sergeant Smith smiles and he goes, well, is that thing in your chest the thing that shot out? And that's when he looks down and he sees the diamond inside of his chest. And, you know, he says, how did that get there? I didn't see that last night. And Sergeant Smith goes, well, if you come with us, we can figure out what it is and possibly take it out. Because I'm pretty sure it's painful. And Cole is reluctant to go with them because he takes one look at Sergeant Smith and does not trust him at all. And he tells him no, that he's not going to go with him, that he'll just figure out another way to get this out of his chest. And that's when Sergeant Smith, he says, well, we have other ways of making you come with us. And that's when he orders the soldiers to bring forth his mom. And he goes, you see, if you don't come with us, your poor mother here is going to meet her end. And that obviously makes Cole mad. And he goes, all right, fine, don't hurt her, I'll go with you. And that's when his mom chimes in and goes, no, don't go with these guys. You got to run far away from here. Don't worry about me. And that's when Sergeant Smith straight up shoots her in the head. And says, you know, that'll shut her up. And tells them, you know, if you don't come with us, we're going to make you come with us. And, you know, him shooting his mother obviously pisses Cole off. And that's when Celeste first activates. The diamond in his chest like glows a very bright blue, and he sees like veins start popping, like blue veins start popping on his arm and around his eyes. And he tells Sergeant Smith that he's going to kill him and rushes forward. And that's when Sergeant Smith gives the order to open fire. And they all just start blasting bullets at him. And with this boost that Celeste gave him, made him bulletproof. And as they figured that out, they brought forth the tank and shot him backwards, which didn't hurt him, but it also like blew him back to the point that he crash landed into a mountain. And after that, Sergeant Smith called down a helicopter and hopped on it and said, finish him off, and if you don't, we can get him later. And as he says that, Cole gets up and he goes, you're not going anywhere, and hops up to the I'm drawing the third issue in Sorrow's comic series. This one he faces off against a telekinetic girl whose powers cannot stop growing. But yeah, Cole gets up from the rubble and he says, you're not going anywhere, and hops up to the helicopter that Sergeant Smith is flying in and tries to take it down. But as he flies up towards it, a missile comes out of it and knocks him back down to the ground. And after like all of the soldiers had retreated and Sergeant Smith was gone, he went back down to his mother and promised her that he would get Sergeant Smith back for killing her. And that basically what starts his quest. And the first villain that he faces off against is a villain known as Titan that Sergeant Smith had created to take him down. But after his mom's funeral, he was walking back to the city, and that's when Celeste first appeared to him. She appeared as a hologram, telling him that, telling her name, telling him where she's from and stuff like that. And Cole asked, what are these abilities that I have? I've grown another foot, and I've been seeing that bullets can't hurt me. And he goes, and she goes, oh, that's because my race has abilities far beyond that of mortal men. And she says that the power that he has is called the power of adaptability. So whatever situation he's in, his body will adapt to it, or she will make him adapt to it. And at first he's confused by this, but then she tells him that you don't have to worry that she's gonna walk him through it and stuff like that. And that's when Titan first appears. He sees a building in the city collapse, and Celeste tells him that he's there, and that this is going to be Cole's first fight. He's going to have to learn how to control his powers. And she said that he'll help him with this battle. And he goes, all right, I'm going to trust you, and hops towards the city. And as soon as he finds Titan, Titan says, finally, now I can actually take you down and take you back to the military. And Diamond, he says, you're not taking me back to the military. You're not even going to be conscious enough to destroy this town. And that's when Titan hops towards him and says, that's what you think, and starts beating the crap out of him. Starts slamming him through buildings, starts slamming him on the ground, just straight up messing him up. And he asks Celeste, this would be a good chance for you to help me. And Celeste says, you're gonna have to keep him busy. It takes me a while to actually power up, to actually give you a power boost. And so for a while he's battling Titan, and he's getting his ass whooped basically. And a few hours later, Celeste finally gives him that power boost, and it causes him to punch Titan so hard it creates a shockwave that destroys almost 20 buildings. And Titan gets back up, and he goes, oh, there's the fighting spirit I was looking for. And they duke it out for a little bit, with Celeste giving him more and more power. And Titan, getting stronger and stronger the more he battles him. And they end up clashing, which almost destroys half the city block. And this is when Diamond had enough of him, and basically punches Titan so hard it knocks him through 3 buildings and knocks him out. And as soon as Titan wakes up, he finds himself wrapped in steel bars, and Diamond standing there saying, this should hold you until the police arrive. And then he tells Titan, if the government wants me, tell them they're going to have to find me, and then jumps off, and that's the end of his comic. But that's the two that I have fleshed out their story for. Blood Ruby, I haven't really fleshed out his story, but his powers is he can die, but at the same time he can't. And what I mean by that is when he dies, he regenerates into another being, basically. And the reason for that is before he got his powers, he was a scientist who was trying to figure out a way to reverse death. He was trying to find a way to stop death. And he figured out a way that people could still die, but after they die, they come back. They come back to life. Not as another being, they just come back to life. And he did that by mixing a strange element that he found that he named negative energy, or the aether is what he called it. But he found that it was like pure negative energy, and he also mixed it with bronze, like a bronze liquid, a silver liquid, a gold liquid, and little like rocks of obsidian. And after he made that into a serum, he wanted to test it out, but he had no one to test it on. So he figured, I'll test it on myself and see what happens. And as soon as he injected that into him, he went into an epileptic shock and passed out for about like 3 hours. And as soon as he woke up, he found that his skin was bronze. And he, was obviously confused by this. And he also heard like 4 other or 5 other voices inside of his head that he didn't know who it was or what was happening to him. So he ran out and was trying to find help. And he ends up coming across 2 muggers who are trying to rob him of his money and stuff like that. And as soon as he tries to fight back, the muggers shoot him like right in the head. And after that happens, he feels death for about like a brief second, and then he realizes he's back to life. But he's not seeing through the eyes that he was before. And that was because as soon as he died, that being that he was went back into his head, and another being that was in his head came out. And this one was called Silver Mastermind. And he didn't have a face. He doesn't have a mouth, so he can't talk, but he speaks telepathically. And he only speaks in rhymes and riddles, so it's very hard to understand him. But he appears, and the thing with all of his other beings is Bronze Mastermind is his one true form. It was, he's Bronze Mastermind is the smart one. Silver Mastermind is his rage. Well, not necessarily rage. It's more of his serious side. Silver Mastermind is more of, fuck with me, I'm gonna kill you. And so after that, the muggers run away from him, and as Silver Mastermind is walking around, it goes into his head, and you see Bronze Mastermind along with Gold Mastermind, which is his rage, because Gold Mastermind is, wanting to basically kill everything that he comes across. Then we've got Blood Ruby, which is the manifestation of the negative energy. The negative energy created its own body. And this one, Blood Ruby, is the most powerful out of all of them, but he's also the dumbest. The thing with Blood Ruby is the negative energy that he's made out of continuously flows around his body. And anybody who comes near him disintegrates, like automatically. Like no one can touch him. And also he can form like weapons out of the negative energy, or he can just shoot it out of his hands. And also, he's like the toughest to kill just because he's random about his actions and stuff like that. No one can really touch him. And then the last one is Obsidian. Obsidian is the brute of all of his forms. He's very hard to kill. He's really big, and the only way you can actually hurt him is with something that he's made out of. So if you have a weapon that is made out of obsidian, then you can hurt him. Otherwise, you can't. And that's all of his forms, and like it just cycles through. Like every time he dies, he transforms into another being, into another one of those beings, and that just continuously happens. So he does die, but at the same time, he doesn't. And I created him because I wanted to create like a Deadpool sort of character in my universe, but I didn't want to directly rip off of Deadpool, so that's what I made up. Another one is my character Shadow, and Shadow is Sorrow's brother, the one that I'm working on the comic of. And after his brother's death, because Sorrow dies in his series, but after his brother's death, it haunts him because he's seen someone kill his brother, but he doesn't know who it was, it was James Dillard. But he didn't see James Dillard kill him, so it haunts him for like years and years. And James Dillard at this point is, hunting for his brother because he knew he had a brother. And so he's hunting for him to finish the job by killing both of them. And he ends up finding him and tells him, I can see that you're hurting and that you're haunted by your brother's death. He was a very close friend of mine. And he tells him that he found a way to take away those memories. That way he's not suffering anymore. And Shadow, is kind of skeptical about this, but, he's willing to do anything to take these memories away. And so he agrees to meet him. And so when he gets to the place that James Dillard told him to go, he goes in there and James straps him into a chair and tells him that he's going to die. And the way like James Dillard is doing it is, you see, James is not the smartest, and he thinks that the radiation is going to do it again. That the radiation is going to kill him because he mixed it with electricity. But as soon as he injected it into him, just like his brother, it gave Shadow his powers, except along with super strength and flight, it also gave him super speed. And after that, it overloaded the machine that was injecting him with the serum, and it caused the detonation countdown to activate. And Sorrow was trying to break free, and as soon as he broke free, the machine that was injecting him with the serum exploded and knocked James Dillard back into a wall of vials that he had. And one of the vials had like liquid metal in it, and that tipped over and basically dumped on James Dillard. It seeped into his skin, and some of it he swallowed, and it turned his skin into metal. Like it formed like a metal coating over his skin, and also drove him even more crazy. But after that, Sorrow escaped while the building was crumbling. Or not Sorrow, Shadow escaped while the building was crumbling, and went about his day trying to figure out what happened to him and stuff like that. And all the while, James Dillard, which he is now called Metalhead, finds his way out of the rubble and makes a promise that he's going to kill Shadow. For leaving him there and stuff like that. And after that, he James goes on a rampage of creating just mutants all over the place. He creates a lab where he mixes the radiation with like some form of power and captures like innocent civilians and gives them abilities in hopes that they would be under his control and go kill Shadow. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them do turn good. But they all gain their abilities from James Dillard. And that's what Shadow has to deal with. He has to deal with these mutants that James is sending after him, all the while trying to find him to stop him. Another hero is a hero that I created when I was 5 that I'm going to remake. And his name is going to be kind of silly, but his name is Zumo Boy. And the way I'm recreating him is he's going to live in the 1950s around the noir time. And he's going to be a detective that has speedster abilities. And what he deals with is a villain known as Bionic Bunny that I'm thinking making as a character that was his partner. But on a case that they were doing together, his partner ended up getting hit by something that it made him seem dead. So Zimaboy, which I'm still thinking on an actual name for him, left him there because he thought, he's dead. There's nothing I can do for him. And after that, his partner gets back up and realizes that Zimaboy had abandoned him and goes under the alias Bionic Bunny to, do crimes to lure out Zimaboy. And like throughout Zumaboy's series, it's being told in like a third-person perspective. You know how in like old noir movies, how they're like telling the story of like the crimes they did or like the crimes they solved and stuff like that, and like all the details of what happened. That's basically what it is. Like there's no actual talking in that comic when I make it. It's all told in like a third-person perspective. And throughout his whole series, he deals with mentally unstable villains. I'm talking like real crazies too. And that's another one that I'm going to create. And like this whole universe is all a part of a big multiverse that me and my friends have planned out. There's like 2 other universes. One is an anime universe where I create anime characters and anime stories, which I'm going to make a second YouTube channel for that. And the third universe is one that my friend has made, and that's one he's working on himself. But what we plan on doing is this superhero universe and the anime universe. We're thinking on doing a crossover between anime characters and Western superheroes. And when we do the crossover, they're both going to have like their own art style. We're not going to like make the superheroes anime or the anime, the superheroes art style. They're all going to still be in their own art style, but it's going to be a crossover between them. But that's like way far in the future. Right now, we're working on each superhero's like main like own story, basically. But the thing with the anime universe and the superhero universe is there's a invisible barrier between them that separates them. And no one can see that universe, no one can touch it, except for the Celestials. And there's a Celestial in the Shady universe called Colin. And he basically watches over, the world and sees to it that the timeline stays the right way. and stuff like that. And in the anime universe, there's celestials and there's gods. And the celestials and gods both hate each other. And a story that I'm working on in the anime universe is about a person who was born from a goddess and a celestial. And after he was born, the gods basically killed his mother because any treason against them is death. And the Celestials basically banished his father, which his father is a Celestial named Roland. And they banished him to the Void, where he meditated and gained power and learned about the Shade Universe. And after he gained enough power, he broke the barrier between the universes, and that's what caused the crossover. But yeah, that's basically like what we have planned so far. And each universe is watched over by what we call an ethereal. And ethereals are above everything else, and they're the ones that created the universes. And the one that watches over the Shade Universe, or as I should say, he tries to eat it, is called the Universe Eater, or Ronin, as a name I made up for him. And basically, Ronin is a power-hungry ethereal. He wants to take over the other two, so he's trying to eat his own universe in order to gain enough power to take over the other two. Which the characters in Shade do end up killing him. And the thing about ethereals is if one of them dies, all three of them die, and three more are born. And yeah, that's basically what happens is he dies, and then three more are born. The one that watches over the Shadeyaki universe, or the anime universe, basically split her worlds into three sections. One is for action anime, one is for horror anime, like monsters and all that, and one is for like the romance and comedy. So I kind of separated into three genres that I'm gonna be doing. And yeah, that's basically the universe so far. The one that my friend is working on is his own universe about a steampunk apocalyptic world that is ruled over by two factions that fight for power. And yeah, that's basically what I have so far, or what we have so far. I'm gonna finish this page, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream. But I have a feeling like this was a good first stream. I have a feeling like I did a good job on this one. Let's see, what do I need to draw? What I need to do right here? Oh yeah. But anybody that comes in, or anybody that watches the stream afterward, if you have any questions about my universe, feel free to comment them. And I'll make sure to answer as many as I can. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna end the stream. The first issue of Sorrow, actually, I have printed, and I'm working on getting copyright so I can actually sell it. I don't have an online store yet, but I'm going to be selling it in like comic book stores and stuff like that. Yeah, my throat's dry if I'm talking. There. All right, I'm gonna finish inking this. And as soon as I get another job, I'm gonna print these comics as well. I want to go to Comic-Con and sell them. That's where I really want to go. But with COVID and all that, not really a lot of Comic-Cons that open up nowadays. Okay, get that done. Get this bubble. And I'm hoping I get more subscribers too. Because getting people to see my comics on YouTube is going to help a lot with getting more fans. There we go. Oh yeah, and also like Sergeant Smith. The reason he's a villain to the heroes is he's obsessed with uh, taking the powers of the heroes. Like he wants to become the most powerful being in all of existence. That's his whole reason of being a villain. And so that's why he tries to capture a lot of the heroes. He even tried that on Sorrow in the first issue. Captured him and tried to steal his power. Almost done with this panel. I'm probably going to go live tomorrow as well. So if you want to see more lives, just subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's there, and I would greatly appreciate it. Because it's been my dream to become a comic artist ever since I was 5. I really like to get noticed for it. And you know, if you're not interested in this, you don't have to be. I'm just doing what I love to do, and you know, if you find it interesting, you can stay. But if not, you can go. But this is what I love to do. It's what I've loved ever since I was 5. This is where I read my first comic. A Shazam comic was actually what I read that inspired me to make my own. And this is where it has led me. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna finish these 2 panels and then I'm gonna end the stream because I've been going for an hour now. I was gonna go to 2 hours, but I need food. Plus, I need something to drink because my throat hurts from talking. But if you want to be notified for more live streams, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification button because if you don't, it's not gonna alert you of my live streams. Also, I need to make a better setup. So I want to show you the process of me making this comic, but can't really do that when it's over there. Oh crap. There we go. Do this one. There we go. On the last panel. All right. Also, I'm going to make videos of making comic dubs of my comic. So I could tell you the story while showing you the comics. So I see a lot of artists, comic YouTubers doing that. So I'm going to do it. we go. R. But yeah, this is my first live stream. I didn't expect to get any views. I'm surprised I actually got 3 at one point. All right. But yeah, I'm surprised I actually got 3. I didn't expect to get any viewers. I wish they would have stayed. But you know, I ramble on a lot. People don't necessarily like that. All right, got Hamilton. I just got to do the background. I'm also like practicing drawing better backgrounds in my comics. All right. Because in my other comics, my backgrounds were a little bland. So I'm working on actually drawing backgrounds. All right. Now for the final touch. All right. Time to erase. Oh, hello, viewer. If you have any questions, just ask. I just finished a page of my comic. I'm surprised I got any viewers at all. I had 3 at one point, which actually surprised me. Granted, they didn't stay, but you know, it was still nice to see 3 viewers. I was just about to end the stream, but you're welcome to ask any questions. Clean this off. But yeah, this page that I just finished is a story that I'm working on called Sorrow. This is the 3rd comic in his series. And I'm going to be making videos reading the comic as like a comic dub, so you guys can see it and understand it. You can come back to like after I end the stream and watch it, and because I explained it. I explained like all of it. So after the stream ends, you can go back and watch it if you want and hear his story. Yeah, this is my first stream of many. probably going to be streaming tomorrow as well. But yeah, if you want, you can subscribe. You don't have to. But I would greatly appreciate it if you did. That way you can watch more of my cringy videos. I know I'm not the best at entertainment, but I try. I mainly just ramble on about my universe because I like it, and I hope that other people do too. You know, I've been working on this ever since I was 5 years old, 25 now. And I think I got the universe just right, like where I want it. But yeah, I think that'll do it. I just finished this page. Next stream, I'll be working on another page. And I'm actually going to try to set it up to where you guys can see the process of me making it. Because right now you guys can't really see it. This is the finished page. Don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the finished page, the first page. And next stream I'll be working on the other one. I thank you for the one viewer that actually stayed. And I'm sorry that you came in at like the last end of the stream. But yeah, if you subscribe, you'll be here for the next one. If you do subscribe, turn on the notifications. That way you get notified whenever I go live or post a video. But yeah, thanks for all the people that watched, even though they didn't stay. And I will see you tomorrow for another live stream. Bye for now.